basic Swedish with some elements of deep tissue. Step one, you definitely want to lubricate your hands, especially with something like a basic Swedish, because Swedish is all about flow and glide and things like that. So you want to make sure that whatever areas of your body that you're going to be using, you want to make sure they're pre-lubricated so you don't run into any friction. If you're the type of person that likes to, use your forearms and things like that, you want to make sure those are pre-moisturized and ready for work as well. With a basic Swedish, you want to make sure you have plenty of oil to work with. This is kind of how I like to start. It's kind of like giving an introduction to the body. It's saying, hello, how are you? I'm here to make you feel better. And these are pretty much all the areas you can anticipate me. So this helps to build trust between you and the body that you're working on. It can connect with you, it can feel your energy, it can feel that you have a nice, safe energy, and with that, it will allow you to kind of get in there and do the things that you need to do, which is basically help the muscles and tissues relax and facilitate flow of all the body's fluids and energy. Energy. The important things to know is that you're using your body and you're using flow. And the flow comes from your hips, the motion in your hips. You want to have soft knees, hinge at the knees, and allow the flow motion of your body to guide your hands. The thing with Swedish is all about nice, long, continuous strokes. So as much connection as you can keep with the body, that's going to really help ground in your Swedish massage style. And then from the lower back, the sacrum, lower back, nice, long, connected stroke up the center of the back, up through the shoulders, up around the shoulders, maintaining that connection, coming down the back of the arm, all the way to the hand, maintaining the connection and coming back up onto the hip and repeating the stroke. One thing, if you really want to help someone to relax, just slow down. The slower the better. And actually you can learn more about the body the slower you go. Swedish, you want to be, I don't know, I like to think of working with dough, like if you make bread or cookie, not even cookie dough, like bread dough or pizza dough or those rolls or biscuits. A nice soft dough. So you want to just knead the dough. We don't need to come in there poking it, being too hard with it. That's not gonna, it'll move a lot more gently and softer when you're gentle and soft with it. This is really a great way to kind of just get into that side body, getting into the tissue, the intercostal tissues. That's the tissues between each one of the ribs. Those areas really need some attention. They're doing a lot. Sometimes the body's working hard just to breathe.
So this is one of those elements of deep tissue, a technique we called reinforced thumbs. You don't have to go in really hard. You can still be gentle, but just adding that extra hand over the thumb point work that you're doing helps to just add a little extra pressure to help move any knots or adhesions you may encounter in the tissues. Once you get into a good flow, a good rhythm, you can really begin to use your entire hand to really deepen your connection with the body. So here you see I'm using both my knuckles, my thumbs, and I'm also using the inside of my hand to kind of grab the upper trapezius along the side of the neck as well, and really get in there and loosen up the tension in those areas where most people hold a lot of tension in their upper shoulders and neck. And a good thing to do anytime you've done any deeper point work, a good thing to do is just come back with a nice soothing stroke, just to remind the body that we're here to relax. We're not here to do anything painful. You still are free to relax. A nice, broad, calming stroke over the area helps to soothe the body and helps it to feel relaxed. So here you can see we're kind of getting a little more into those elements of deep tissue, not going too deep. Deep tissue doesn't mean it has to be painful or hard. The way I describe deep tissue is really deepening the connection. So you can see I'm really connected with this body. We are connected as I move my body. The body is moving freely on the table, nice and easy. It's not a lot of force, more flow. Focus on your flow more than force when applying deep tissue techniques. And another thing you want to make sure you're flowing with is the breath. So you want to make sure your client is breathing and you are flowing with the inhalation and exhalations that your client is doing. And if you can't feel them doing those breaths, you can go ahead and coach some deeper breathing so that you can deepen your connection with the body. Even when I'm focusing on a back, neck, and shoulder massage, you want to be sure to include the entire body as much as possible. So in this instance, that means including the head as well. You want to come up and maybe give some attention to the ears. That helps to create a more thorough experience, which also aids in the total relaxation of the body, just by being as connected as possible to all areas, all surface areas of the body that you have access to. Giving them a little touch, a little attention, it feels really good. Especially a lot of people sometimes don't give a lot of time and attention to their scalp and their head. So when you come in there and add a little neck and scalp massage with your back, neck, and shoulders, it really helps to provide a complete massage experience. So you'll notice I'm spending a lot of time at the base of the neck. That's called our occiput area, but just at the nape of the neck where a lot of the shoulder muscles attach, the trapezius muscle attachment, and just those muscles in the neck, scalp, Yes, there are muscles on our scalp as well. So it's really relaxing to spend some extra time in those areas that have a lot of tension and don't get a lot of attention very often. Here I'm doing a very gentle stretch. You'll notice I'm using both hands. So with one hand, I'm kind of pinning and securing the muscle at the base of the skull as I kind of stretch and elongate down the shoulder. So using two hands, keeping both hands on the body at all times is a very good massage technique. And this is a way to kind of just add a little stretch gently and effectively. Again, using two hands. One hand to kind of secure the area and the other hand applying motion, lengthening motions to the muscles and tissues. One hand pinning the tissues there at the base of the skull, and the other hand using lengthening and applying motion to allow opening up, increase the flow in those areas. One way to apply deep tissue techniques is to allow tension, knots, and adhesions to come to the surface more than digging in to find them. Coax them to the surface. They want to be released. So if you gently coax them to the surface, then you can apply less pressure when releasing them. I know some massage therapists out there who actually work with this belief of I'd rather ask for forgiveness than asking for permission. And I don't agree with that, and I never work with that type of attitude. I'm always asking the body for permission before I go deeper, before I enter areas. I wait for the body to allow me in. And you can coax that by asking for a breath, and allowing the body to breathe. But if you focus on your flow, you should be able to find those areas where tension is being held and kind of just coax the body into allowance instead of forcing the body to do anything. If your client can't breathe through what you're doing, it's entirely too deep and it's really ineffective. So you want to make sure that you're never applying more pressure than your client can breathe through. And you want to coax that breathing. If you find that they're holding their breath, go ahead and ask them to take a nice big inhale and exhale. Coach that breathing until they get into a nice rhythm and flow themselves. Here we're applying just some nice gentle friction circles across the mid-back, upper mid-back, that rhomboid area. That area in between the shoulder blades typically holds a lot of tension for most people. So some good friction circles in that area, and also along the top of the shoulder line. These are great places to apply a little point work gently, and gentle friction circles. You can see how open this body is. As I move, the entire body is moving. So this body is very open and relaxed, and we're flowing together. Most people with knots or adhesions have been holding on to them for quite a long time. And sometimes it can be a challenge to let these things go. So when you encounter them, it can be quite a sensitive area. One of the techniques I use is gentle motion. And then I come to a point where I feel like the knot will allow me in, and that's where I coax a nice deep breath to allow relax. And that's just asking your client, once you pin the knot down, asking your client to take a nice deep breath and then coming back in with some gentle motion to encourage release. You're really going to be able to get closer to the knot and the adhesion on the exhale. If you look really close, you can see how ropey this area is as I'm going over the muscle tissue. So that's why that extra motion really helps to encourage loosening and relaxation of that area, which is holding some major tension. Instead of just going in entirely deep with like an elbow, I use, gentle circular motions, kind of rocking motions, and I'll even come in with a gentle shake, a vibratory shaking motion to encourage the muscle to let go and release. So this entire session took about 40 to 45 minutes. As you can see, this video is only 18 minutes long, so I've cut some things out to make it a little more manageable for you to watch it. But I did leave it, this is real time. So this is the exact pacing and speed that I use. So I want to encourage you to go slow, take your time, and really connect with the breath of your client and the person that you're working on. And that should really help you to have a nice, unforgettable Swedish massage experience that your clients are going to love and they're going to come back for again and again. So again, this is Elle Parker speaking from 16 years experience at this point. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any extra questions, you can leave them in the comments below or get in touch with me however you can. And thank you for watching. Peace.